Hey folks, Trent Clark here with Mallet Buildings. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about how big does your building need to be. You know, this seems like an easy question for me, but even myself, I got the wrong size building, because every building you get, you're going to wish that you got a bigger building. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. Where's Mallet this week? We got 91 jobs, folks. Every time I see this map, I was just talking to a customer a while ago, and our scheduling department, you know, people don't understand that we got 91 jobs, and this is going on in 1 week. And we're scattered out all throughout the, you know, Louisiana, Texas, and I think it looks like we got one in Mississippi. So we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activity happening over here, a lot of machines moving, a lot of product moving, you know, to keep this beast rolling. That's what we do. And in Louisiana, we got 66 jobs. And look, this could be, you know, we're delivering, we're erecting your building, we're forming it up, we're pouring concrete, we're doing electrical, gutters, control joints, plumbing. You know, a lot of stuff goes on, and that's what consists of all those jobs. It's not just building buildings, or how we do like to deliver about 8 to 10 buildings a week, and we like to build about 8 to 10 buildings a week or more. But in Louisiana, we got 66 jobs going on. In Texas, we got 23 jobs going on this week. Okay? Why Mallet? Folks, it's very simple. We build the best building in the country. If you don't believe me, come up here, I'll show you. Our specs prove it. Our other builders don't build what we build. You know, it's very, very simple when it comes to that in my mind. I mean, you know, it's like you get a premium product or you get a cheap product. And that's what we got here. You know, when we decided to do a rival series to go after what our competitors build. And look, our competitors does not have different series of building. Why? Because most of our competitors are going after, they're building a cheap building to try to win the job. They're bidding the cheapest building possible to try to get the job for you to build with them. They're not worried about everything that we're worried about. Their buildings aren't engineered. Their trusses may be, because they bind their truss, but ask yourself for them to prove that their building's engineered. That's something that we do here, and we take pride in that. You know, we believe and we know that we build the best building in the country. But anyway, we did this rival series building because we needed to come up, because we got a lot of people saying, well, your price is a little higher than what we're getting out there on the streets. Well, I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. It is higher, because the bottom line is, ask yourself this question. We've been in business for 27 years. We got repeat people building buildings on different properties with us. We got ambassadors sending us their friends and family. Do you think that we do that because our buildings are cheap? No, we build quality buildings. That's what you'll find when you jump to the Mallet Classic, the Signature, and the Elite. The Rival Series is basically what our competitors do, and it's what we will build for you. I don't want to sell you this building, but if it comes down to the cheapest price possible, we can sell it. It's going to come with 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 common truss, 130 mile-an-hour wind rating from us. I don't know about our competitors. Okay, no uplift control. Very, very important. Post in the dirt or on gravel. Okay, you have a possibility of sinking. 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, no ground protection, limited warranty. You know, most of our competitors stay in business for about 2 to 4 years, and they go out of business, folks. It's just how it works. Number two, untreated generic lumber. We can build this building for you, or you can get this from our competitor. But if you want a true building that's going to last lifetime, you want to jump up to the Classic building. Classic is our bottom tier series here at Mallet Building, which is way, way, way better than our competitor's best building, our only building. Okay, you're going to get 26 gauge metal, you're going to get a 5-on-12 roof pitch, very aesthetic pleasing. It's going to get all that stuff off your roof quickly. Third party inspected truss. We have somebody to come inspect our truss to stamp that for us to say that we're doing what we're doing. This building is going to come with a 140-mile-an-hour wind rating. That's better than the rival. You know, you got the mallet cable lock system. I can't talk enough about that. That's the reason why I'm standing in a building that's been through 16 hurricanes. Okay, folks? Our competitors don't do it, and we don't put it in the rival building because you want to save, you want the cheapest building. That's your cheap building. This building is only a couple of thousand. If we're talking about a 30 by 50 building, it's only $2,400 difference. So why wouldn't you come with this? The mallet cable lock system alone is worth what I'm with $20-something hundred. You got concrete under every post. I couldn't put that on underneath there if it didn't cost. It's cheaper over here because we're not putting it. Putting concrete on the post. That 2 by 12 headers, folks. It's superior than 2 by 8. You would have to agree with me there. 4-inch, 4,000 psi concrete. That's 33% stronger than 3,000 psi. 33% stronger is big, folks. Okay. Plus, we're putting microfiber in our concrete, which is more money we're adding to that to help with the shrinkage cracks. Okay? You're going to have a skirt guard, nothing over there, 4-year workmanship warranty. What is that worth to you? That's just on our classic. On the Elite, you get a 10-year workmanship warranty. You tell me what that's worth. Okay? You got #1 MCA ground treated lumber throughout that building. Our competitors are not going to do that for you. Okay? In-house engineering, what does that mean to you? Every building is looked at by our engineer. We are a professional engineering firm here at Mallet Building. Now, like every day, we like to start out and giving you $500 discount on your military personnel, healthcare worker, teachers, and first responders. If you're one of those people, come get your $500 off on your building. If you want to upgrade to a signature or an Elite building, type in cash to a live feed just like this one, and we're going to give you an extra $1,000 off. That almost pays for the difference right there. March specials. Let's see what we got. 1 week only. This week, folks. Okay, this is a very good deal right here. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $46,750. Okay, but we're giving you free 10-foot gable extension for free. All right, this week only. This is an Elite building, okay? The best of the best. All the bells are going to get 6-inch concrete in this whole thing, two 12 by 10 roll-up doors, 2 3 by 5 windows, 6-inch 4,000 psi concrete, gutters, the whole 9 yards. This is a premium building here at Mallet. This is the highest you can get, okay? So that special is going on. It will end by the end of the week. We still got this Cajun Classic Oasis for it's a 30 by 50 by 12. For $49,999, that price does include an electrical package and an AC unit. Okay, that's a $10,000, I think somewhere around $6,000, yeah, $10,000 value when you combine the two. All right, we also have that in the Elite package, which you're going to get the 6-inch concrete gutters, the whole 9 yard on the Elite package. But this building is $59,999, and that is the same size, 30 by 50 by 12. Remember, you get an electrical package and AC unit. That's a $10,000 value we're throwing in on this building. All right, 5 red flags. Folks, look, we like to always tell you about the 5 red flags. Why? Because people get hurt. It's not, we don't just come up here and say that. I know 4 or 5 people already this year that's lost money, and they're not going to get it back, okay? Years in business, you can find that out on the Secretary of State website. If you're searching and trying to do business with somebody, make sure you look them up on the Secretary of State. Find out how long they've been in business. If they hadn't been in business long and you feel like you want to be a guinea pig with them, that's your prerogative. You can do that, but just be aware, okay? Just be aware. And if they're not on that site, then something's wrong. They might not have a license altogether. Secondly, proper licensure. They have to be a contractor to build a building, even though you may be the contractor on record, okay, to save money, and that's fine. Well, most of our customers do that. But you still need to have a contractor's license to erect a building like this in your backyard. If they don't have that, you can find that out at the LSLBC website. Also, on that same website, you can find out about contractor violation. Folks, listen, most of our competitors have violations. We're very proud here at Mallet Building that for 27 years we have no violations, okay? That tells you a lot, folks, right there. Reviews on the BBB in Google. We have 700 plus reviews on BBB in Google. We're very, very proud of that. You can go check them out. You can see real live reviews. Question yourself if you can't find reviews on the company that you're wanting to do business with. That might be a red flag, folks. I'm just saying, okay? Visit the contractor's facility. Look, we got a facility here we're proud of. It's old. We're trying to do some upgrades. We got a roll form plant coming, but anyway, we got a place for you to come and conduct business. It might be a red flag if you're looking at doing business with somebody and you're in the front seat of their vehicle, folks. That may be a red flag. Make sure that they have a facility. That ensures you that they might be here for a little while at least, okay? Now, how big does your building need to be? This is very, controversy question, if you will. So RVs, boats, tractor, and equipment explained, all right? So our marketing team put this together, but I might throw in some extras here like I started this live show off today. Folks, I can promise you that 90% of our customers, if we call them tomorrow and we ask them if they picked the right size building, 90% of them, I promise you, is going to say, I wish I would have built a bigger building. It's just how it goes, because a building is not only a place to house your equipment and your boats and the things that you spend money on that you don't want to sit out there in the wood, but a lot of people start throwing things in there. They have a little work area in there, and then all of a sudden it's just overcrowded, okay? My wife hollers at me all the time about all the stuff in our building. Anyway, let me talk about the points that they come up with. Start with what you're parking inside. We just kind of talked about that. Before choosing the building size, measure your equipment. Overall height, including AC units, antenna, exhaust. What he's talking about here is maybe a camper. Overall width, including mirrors and attachment, the width of it. So if you got, if you got two double doors, we'll talk about doors in a minute. Overall length, including trailers or implements. Then add clearance room to open doors, around space, future equipment upgrades. Everything that they are saying on this slide matters, because I can promise you there are certain areas in my shop, and whoever's watching here, you're going to know what I'm talking about, that you kind of sliding through like this because you got so much stuff in there. So it does make a difference if you plan all this stuff out. But like I said, folks, if you're planning on a 30 by 50, get yourself a 40 by 60. I'm just telling you, do it the right time. Rule of thumb, add about at least 2 to 4 foot of clearance in every direction. I would say that's a good rule of thumb. Understanding eave height versus interior clearance. Remember, on the outside of your building, if you're getting a 30 by 50 by 12, the 12 is off the outside of your building. So that's going to go from the bottom of your rack guard to the top of your eave. And I think that's what they're saying right here. Now understand that your bottom skirt board of that building is where the top of that concrete's coming. So you're actually going to lose a little bit of head height on the eave side of that building. But no worries, because here at Mallet, our standard is scissor truss or cathedral truss. So you're going to get a lot more room on the middle of that building versus where you could on a common truss. And we might talk about that in a minute. But interior clearance, the usable vertical space on the inside, that's what we're talking about here. Now, if you're putting a ceiling up, you may lose a little bit more because of the heel height of the truss. And bottom line is, when you come to Mallet, we can tell you all that information. If you need 12 foot on the inside, then we might have to go up a little bit more on the outside of your building to give you that. But all that is explained to you. Ask a bunch of questions, and we can help you out with that. But understand that it's not always the same on the inside and the outside, okay? Depends on roof pitch, 5/12 standard at Mallet. So we're going to give you a little bit better roof pitch on that. Truss type standard versus scissor. We give you standard scissor truss, bottom cord height. So, for example, 14-foot eave equals 14-foot clear everywhere. You'll have a full clearance at the sidewall, meaning outside, more height on the center peak. So what we're trying to describe here is what I already said. In the middle of that building, because of the scissor truss, you'll have more head height, so you could actually put a door in the middle of that building if you had something taller to get into that deal. So you could actually put a 12-foot eave height building, and you could put maybe, I'd have to calculate this, don't get it, but you could put a 12-foot door, whereas you can't put a 12-foot door on the eave of that building, okay? Because you have your 2x12 headers that's going to be in the way, so it's not going to be 12 foot on the eave. The gable is the part that does like this, okay? You can put a 12-foot door in the middle of that, that building, even though it's a 12-foot eave on there, okay? If that's confusing, our building specialist can help you with that, but that's the benefit from that scissor truss, okay? Let's see, let's go to the next slide here. Door sizes, drive building heights. I think I just kind of spoiled the beans on that one. I think I just talked about that. Door height must fit within your wall height. You cannot install a 14-foot door in a 12-foot eave building. That's 100% true. And really and truthfully, you can't put a 12-foot door on that eave building either, okay? Because you have your truss carriers up there that your door has to go lower than that, so it's not going to be 12 on the eave. Now you could put 12 on the gable side. That's what I was trying to explain to you a while ago. Real common world needs, standard camper often needs 12-foot door, large class A motorhome 14-foot door, tractors with cabs 10-foot to 12-foot, boats with trailers usually 10 to 12. And if you have like a center console, be aware of that. If you have any type of, music or, maybe a pontoon boat that you want to leave it up, measure all that stuff from the ground up and then put a half foot on it, So if it's measuring 11 and a half, then you know that a 12-foot door is going to be good for you. But also keep in mind what you have now might not be what you have in the future. So if you don't have a Class A motorhome now and you got a pull-behind camper, sometimes in the near future, you may want to upgrade. So be thinking of all those things. That's part of your building. So, you may want to spend a little bit extra money and get a little bit higher building and a bigger door to prepare for the future, because you don't know. Just because you don't have it now don't mean you don't have it in the future. And resale value of that building goes up when you have a bigger door. Okay, so be thinking about all those. I know some people may be on a budget, but always think, look, if I could spend an extra $5,000 to secure the future of anything I need to get in that building, now's the time to do it, because you can never go back and do it. It's going to be a lot harder and sometimes impossible. We're dealing with a customer, that bought a building a couple of years back, and they want to put a bigger door, and it's impossible, folks. Sometimes when you're at a lower eave height. So keep all that in mind. It will cost you more money, but you have to justify that. You want to pay it now for less money or more in the future, because you may have to do some major adjustments. So that gives you a little idea. Door size can often determine wall height, not the other way around, and that is 100% true, okay? Length, don't box yourself in. We kind of just talked about that too. I got ahead of the slides, but common scenarios, camper only, 40 to 45 foot, you can have smaller campers than that. Boat plus storage, 50 to 60. Equipment and shop, 60 foot plus. I mean, folks, I'm here to tell you that if you're going to be building a shop and you think you want a 30 by 50 and you can afford to and you got the land to do a 40 by 60, I'm telling you, do it, okay? Consider space, future upgrades. We just talked about interior office. If you want like a little work area in there, tool storage, all that. It is far easier to build slightly larger now than add it onto it later. Exactly what I just said. Width and layout considerations. Single RV bay, 14 foot to 16 wide minimum. So that's going to be one side of the building is what it's saying. 18 to 20 feels comfortable. 2 vehicles side by sides, 30 foot minimum. 40 gives you breathing room. I'd agree. Workshop and storage combo, 40 to 50 wide is functional. Remember, interior columns, workbenches, shelving, and toolbox all take up space. If you think 30 is enough, you'll probably wish you had 40. Exactly what I already said, folks. It's the truth. But just understand when you make a decision, it's a decision that you're gonna make, right? So if it's a 30 by 50, which is what I got, in my situation, that's really what I could put on there. And so that's what I went with. And look, we make it work. I'm sure if you make a decision, you'll make it work too. We just wanted to go over this and let you know the things to think about when you're fixing to purchase your building. Because look, the bottom line now is if you can afford it, now's easier than in the future, okay? So the smart way to size your building, here's the progress we recommend. Measure your tallest and widest equipment. Choose door size based on the measurements. Set eave height to properly accommodate the door. Add width for comfort, not just clearance. Add length for future flexibility. I think number 5 is a lot of people don't think about. I think the majority of the people kind of see and feel about the things that they can put into that building. I think a lot of people don't think about what they might add in the future, and because it's about what we got now, but what do you really want in the future? You might want a bigger boat. You might want a bigger RV. You know, if you only have a 50-foot long building, you're not going to be able to put a 45-foot RV in there. I'm just telling you because I got a 50-foot and my RV is 40-foot, and I don't think I could put another 5 foot in there. It's just weird how that works, but because you got some wall thickness on there. You got to think about that too. Just because you're getting a 50-foot length, you're not going to be able to utilize that whole 50 foot. You got to be able to walk around that thing, or you'll be boxed in. And then you got 6-inch posts. You know, if you don't cover your walls up, you could possibly maneuver in and out of there. But a lot of people cover their walls up and stuff like that. But be thinking about all that, folks. So that was a good little thing today. I hope we educated somebody. I hope we got somebody thinking maybe that maybe they need to increase their building. Nevertheless, we can help you here at Mallet Building. We got the best building in the country. Our building specialists are waiting for you to hear from you, okay? We'd like to talk about our ambassador program. Speaking of, if you want to look at a building to see how much room we have in there, our building specialist can hook you up with an ambassador, and then we can schedule you an appointment for you to go look at. And if you have bought a building from us, what an ambassador is they don't mind showing their building and talk about their experience they had with us here at Mallet. And we give them a referral fee for doing that when somebody actually buys a building. It's $200. So we appreciate all of our ambassadors out there, and I know a few of them are watching today. So, I'm going the wrong way. So that's our show today, folks. We really, really appreciate your business. Don't forget about that sale that ends this week. We'll see you tomorrow.